Whisper this to get your specific person or anyone to do whatever the heck you want right now. Hi, I am Maria with I Am Maria Voss. I am a mindset and manifestation coach. Most of you know me from TikTok. I have a substantial amount of followers on there and growing every single day. I am your most favorite and loved manifestation coach in the world because I'm that freaking awesome. If you want to book a one-on-one coaching session with me, the link is below in the description, as well as how to follow me on all the social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, Twitter, and all that awesome jazz. So let's get into it, the whisper method, because this is probably one of the most popular techniques that you will find on TikTok, on YouTube, and all the platforms, if I'm being really honest. And this was like all the craze from like 2021 until about, I'd say, the last year or so. While you don't hear about it as much, it's still preferably used. People like to use this technique because it makes them feel very in control. And I'll be honest, in the very beginning of my journey, I felt that way too. And the truth is, it honestly doesn't matter. I've heard some coaches say that using the whisper method means that you forget who you truly are and that you are not in control in your reality, which is a bunch of hogwash, if you ask me, because you can use whatever technique you want to get you there. Manifesting is just like a gasm that we all have on occasion. You use the best technique that makes you feel awesome, right? And gets you there. And who cares if other people have opinions about it? That is their limiting beliefs, and never let that get in the way of you using a technique that works best for you. I've heard people say that affirmations aren't good enough, or using meditation isn't good enough, or whatever. Here's the truth. There's a lot of people out there teaching manifestation, which is great, right? Different perspectives. And while most people have good experience and have people's best interests at heart, some people do not know how to differentiate their own limiting beliefs and projecting it onto others. And the truth is, if we're seeing stuff like this in our reality, that just means we have it within us and we have to adjust our beliefs accordingly. Remember, everything that's happening outside of you is also happening inside of you, right? Nothing is happening to you, as Dylan James would say, it's happening through you. I just always want you to remember to use techniques and things that always feel good for you. And if you don't like affirmations or inner conversations or visualization or whatever, just prefer one or the other, that is okay as well. So let's get into it. Let's talk about how to get the whisper method to work for you like that in your reality. There's multiple ways to do this, and the truth is there is no one way to do this, but I'll go over different ways to adjust. The whisper technique is meant to be more of a visualization technique or like a meditation technique. Like you could literally close your eyes and meditate on this, or you can do it with your eyes open, but visualize it in your mind, imagining yourself walking up to that person and whispering in their ear. But if you're not really into imaginal scenes and you have a hard time imagining, you can always script this out, and you can even use inner conversations in your mind if you're not a visual person. You can just imagine that they're in front of you and that while you're doing this in your mind, they are listening. I don't want people to think just because they can't visualize or just because they can't create a meditation or they haven't found one to their liking that they can't script this or just use inner conversations to do this. And the truth is, you can even do this using affirmations. You can just think in your mind, when I'm thinking this affirmation, it's going straight into their ear, right? Just having that thought that you're doing it in that way, you could just be like, when I'm saying this affirmation, it is going straight into my specific person's ear and they are hearing it and they are gonna do it. There's multiple ways to manifest different things you want and different ways that you can kind of tweak techniques. Just always remember that and have fun with this. So let's get into this. How would you actually visualize doing the whisper method? Because this is the most popular way to do it. What you would do is you would close your eyes, you would relax on a couch or just chill out. You could even do it sitting up or at a chair. You could even do it at work. Honestly, you could do this with your eyes open. There's all this disbelief about how perfect imagination needs to be, and that's a lie, because everything I've ever imagined has, I'd say 50 to 60% of the time, been with my eyes open. I just imagine in my brain. And even if all you can see is gray figures or barely make out outlines of people, that doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be very vibrant. And if it is, great. There's no right or wrong to this. So first and foremost, You got to pick a person that you're going to do this to, whether it's your specific person, your ex, your mother-in-law, your boss, or maybe like someone that owes you money, right? It could be like your big brother or your little sister or your friend Ted from 5 years ago that still hasn't paid you back $1,000. After you've chosen a person in mind, or maybe 2 or 3, that's okay, write them down. And then let's get into the gist of it, like what it actually is. You can do this a couple of different ways. You can imagine, in your imaginal scene, I would just imagine a blank room. This tends to work the best, I think, because then you don't have to imagine other things. I always think simpler is better, but if that kind of bugs you, you can always imagine them in their room or in a room in their home or in a room in your own home or in your bedroom. It honestly doesn't matter. So I would preferably imagine them either sitting up in a chair, laying down, or even laying down in a bed, or maybe even laying down on the couch, right? Relaxed on the couch. Can you imagine this person? I kind of want you to see them as a frozen human being, staring at a wall or just staring up at the ceiling, or maybe even having their eyes closed is fine, like they're sleeping. It doesn't matter. You can even imagine that you're doing this to them as they sleep, and that might feel more powerful. I know people that have done this, and I've done it myself. And at the time when I was really new to this, it seemed to have a huge effect because I was like, oh, they're sleeping, so of course it's going to work that much better. But the truth is, it doesn't matter. What's most important that you choose whatever feels best for you. So let's say you imagine your specific person sitting on a normal chair in their living room in a white background. If you want to, you can even put like what their living room would look like or their bedroom or whatever. And imagine yourself as your spirit self walking up to them in this imaginal scene. So you walk up to them, you go up to their ear, you would put your hand next to your mouth, and you would whisper what you want them to say or do. If, let's say, your specific person hasn't taken you on a date in a really long time, or hasn't told you that they love you, or you haven't heard from them, you can just go up to their ear and be like, call Brendan. You say it 3 times. Call Brendan. Call Brendan. Take Natalie to the theater. Take Natalie to the theater. Take Natalie to the theater. You're going to do this anywhere from 3 to 5 times when you're whispering in their ear. And I would just stick to one thing. Here's the truth. You can do like a ton of things, but if there's multiple things that you want them to do, then I would just say, let's say like your desire isn't really to go on a date or have them tell you that they love you or miss you, then tell them, get back together with Brian or get back together with Lucy, right? Like you can make it a 1-word statement. You just want to kind of keep it simple. Sure, you can add in more things if you want, like tell Lucy you love her and miss her, or tell Brian that you're madly in love with them and you can't imagine your life without them. Now that we've decided who the person is, what room we're doing this in, if they're sitting up or down, if it's in their living room or in a clear room, and what we're gonna say, you're gonna do this technique anytime you think of them. Like I said, it doesn't even really matter. You can just think to yourself. I'm doing the whisper method with inner conversations, and just think to yourself, anytime I think this is getting whispered in their ear. Or you can even make it anytime I affirm this is getting whispered in their ear. Like I said, there's different ways to tweak this. Or if you're not really into any of these techniques and you really preferred scripting, then script this out. Write it down once and then maybe put it in your phone or take a picture of it or write it in your notes if you have an iPhone, or I'm sure like on a Samsung, they have their own alternative for that, and reread it throughout the day anytime you think about your person. You can even create a pre-recorded voice note in your phone to do this for you. You can write it out the way you would have wanted, the same way you would script, and then you would just read that script into your phone. So when you don't have the time to read, that you could just listen to it and imagine. The truth is, just even listening to your voice say this and taking yourself through those steps will have the same effect on your specific person or whoever you're trying to influence or create a different version of them. I don't want you to worry that you're manipulating anyone or hurting anyone, because remember, that parallel version of them already exists. And by doing this over and over again, you are becoming the version of you that will eventually reflect that into your 3D reality. Have fun with this, and just remember, the main key is anytime you think about your specific person, your boss, your mother-in-law or whoever, your friend to pay you back, or your friend to go on a trip with you. Think this, imagine this, have inner conversations with this, or script it or read it, and you will get the perfect whisper method done. I will personally make a meditation and release that within the next few days. It'll be a personalized whisper method meditation to go along with this, and I'll link it below when I put it up. Like and follow to learn manifesting the right way.